If you want to win more, you got to be willing to fail more, a lot more. You got to think you can do it before you do it, right? Financial success starts with knowing you deserve better, knowing you deserve the best. Especially if you come from a place where you didn't have any money growing up. You grew up sort of poor. When you come from that environment, you got to reshape the way you think about you. The old you has to go. Guys, I got a comment on one of my videos the other day ago, and somebody had asked me, or they made the comment, it was a young lady. She said, I want to build some wealth and I want to have some generational wealth for my family, but I just don't want to give up my vacations. Me and my husband's vacations are really important to us, and I don't want to give those up. Listen, so I said basically in response to her comment that you're going to have to sacrifice something, and you got to decide after you prioritize what you want to give up. And so I said, you know what, let's make this into a video and let's talk about it real quick. So here's a few things that you got to give up on your way to wealth. Okay. The first thing you got to give up is some of your free time. If you have a bunch of free time and you're doing a bunch of stuff and you got a bunch of hobbies and things that you're doing, you're going to have to give up some of your chilling time, some of your time when you're chillaxing and just maxing out. You got to just give up some of that. Growth is going to happen when you feel a little bit of discomfort, right? You got to push beyond what feels easy when you're trying to push for a goal like build some wealth or save for an emergency fund or build up your investments, whatever it could be, right? You're going to have to go ahead and push beyond the easy, right? You might have to get some new habits. You might have to get some new skills. You might have to trade in those Netflix binges for research binges or reading books about finances or about stocks and bonds, whatever you want to do. But you're going to have to give up some of the free time and learn something, network, build something, start producing something, start creating something on the side. You can't just go to work, come home, chill, watch TV, go to work, come home, chill, watch TV, right? You gotta do something more than that. You got to let go of some of that free time and do something different, right? The video games, the basketball games, the football games, the whatever you're doing in this chill time, right? You cannot want more and not be willing to do more, especially with your time, because that's vital. Now, the second thing you're going to give up is instant gratification, right? Choosing maybe some long-term wealth over some short-term gain or some short-term wants. That's really one of the defining disciplines of building wealth. Patience is the key. That means you can't want things quick and have it right now, right when you want it. You got to have it now. You can't live without it, right? You got to be patient. It takes time. That's why they call it building wealth, because you got to actually spend the time building it. You're going to grow slow and you're going to let the process do what the process do with your good habits and all the things that you're doing right. So don't rush it. Now, I don't care what the YouTubers say. Your favorite YouTuber might be telling you, okay, we can build a $100,000 empire in 6 months. Right? Your favorite YouTuber might be saying something crazy like that. Now, I'm not here to bash nobody, but you got to be careful with that, right? Not the get rich quick schemes. The chill, take your time, get wealthy slow over a long course of time. That's been proven to work. So work it. Now, the third thing you got to give up is some ego, right? It's hard. It's really, really hard to flex and build at the same time, right? So you're going to have to sacrifice some of that name brand clothing, right? You're going to see the world on social media, flossing, balling, doing things and going on vacation, sitting on beaches. And you might say to yourself, I want to do all that too. But guess what? Taking pictures and videotapes of all that stuff, oftentimes, unless it's business related, it's just ego. It's stroking the ego, right? And you're going to have to be able to refrain from that and tell your ego no on a regular basis. Now, the fourth thing you got to give up, and this one maybe should have been number one, but you're going to have to give up toxic relationships, right? There's some people around you right now you're going to have to let go to go higher, right? You're going to have to move on past them in order to go to another level, because financial discipline requires distancing yourself from some people out there that drain your energy, or the naysayers out there that are always negative about everything, or the people that are around you that really don't want you to succeed. Whenever you're doing something better or different than what they're used to, they have something negative to say about you. If you know people like that, drop a comment. Let me know in the comments below who you know like that. Don't say any names, but just say in the comments that, yeah, you know people like that. Listen, people who are not going nowhere, they want you to go with them. Oftentimes, and it could be a brother, a cousin, a sister. It could be an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew. Could be somebody that has been your best friend for 25, 35, 40 years. And you're changing, right? When you're trying to build wealth, you're not going the places you used to go. You're not doing the things you used to do. You're not hanging out where you used to hang out and spending your money doing what you used to spend your money doing. You're doing new and different things. You've changed. And guess what? You're supposed to change, right? The people who are doing the same thing at age 40 that they were doing at age 20, that's not where you want to be, because what you were doing at age 20 is probably going to be something a little less mature than what you're doing or want to do when you're 40. But those are the type of people you got to leave, right? You got to get away from those people that are keeping you in the same place you were at years ago. You're trying to get somewhere else. So you got to sometimes let them go and get new people around you. Now, listen, a lot of times when you start making these changes in your life, people are going to start falling off. They're going to start leaving on their own because they see you doing something different. It don't line up with what they do. Sometimes just natural progression is going to drop those people off. But if they don't drop off, you got to drop them off. You got to leave them. And some of them will not like you because of it. Some will hate on you. Some will be angry at you. Some will be mad at you. Some will say, hey, look at her. She thinks she's better than everybody else. Or look at him. Who does he think he is? He know where he came from. He's supposed to be doing the same thing he was doing 20 years ago back where he came from with all of us friends of his. Who does he think he is? This is what they're going to say to you and about you. You got to be ready for it. Now, the fifth thing you got to give up is you got to give up these excuses. You got to sacrifice and let go of all these excuses that you may have been using for years and years and years about why you couldn't go back to school, why you couldn't get that trade, why you can't invest more money, why you can't do a budget. You just not the type of person that does X, Y, Z. But guess what? If you want something different, you got to become something different. You got to become a new person who's going to do new things, new habits, and take on new adventures and learn new things. And you got to become somebody else. You can't have the same excuses that you had back in the day. Successful people at all levels, whether it's financial, whatever, in their career, successful people take ownership. And that means they don't make excuses. They don't come up with reasons why they can't. They just figure out ways that they can. Now, the sixth thing you got to sacrifice is your fear of failure. You got to sacrifice that. You got to put that down somewhere. Put it away. Let it go. You're going to be trying new things. You're going to be spending your money in new ways, maybe on some learning, maybe on some self-improvement, maybe on a conference or 2 or 3, maybe on some seminars and webinars and some educational products, some courses. You're going to be spending your money in different ways, and you have to be brave enough and courageous enough to do it. Playing it safe is what keeps a lot of people broke and a lot of people poor or in poverty because they're just too comfortable because they want to play it all safe. Look, there's risk you have to take out here. Risk to get better. Risk to invest your money. Risk to actually save up a whole bunch of money. Risk to start putting your money towards buying that piece of real estate, that multifamily property, starting that business, doing that side gig, developing those digital products, writing that ebook, starting that YouTube channel. All of it's going to take risk on your part. So you got to sacrifice and let go of that fear of failure, that fear of what if I can't do it? What if I can't achieve it? What if I mess up? What if everybody laughs at me? What if everybody at my job discovers me, that what I'm doing on the side? What if people don't like my product or my service or my business, right? So what? If you want to win more, you got to be willing to fail more, a lot more. You cannot build wealth or build anything for that matter if you're nervous and scared to the point that you don't put out the effort, because we're all nervous and scared. The difference is people that are winners and successful, they do things despite fear. There's still fear. Fear is natural. It's a human thing. Before I hit record on this video, I'm scared. I'm nervous, right? So it happens to everybody all the time. But guess what? When you learn to push through the fear and do things anyway, despite being scared, that's when you get to the other side. That's when you start winning in a way you've never won before. You got to sacrifice that fear, punch that fear in the face, and do it anyway. The seventh thing you got to sacrifice is them weekend turn-ups. When you get all hyped up and you're partying, you're kicking, and you're doing all the... Listen, not only does the party and the kicking it waste money, but it also wastes time. It also wastes energy. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. But when you spend $100 a weekend, $200 or $300 a weekend, it adds up. $100 a weekend turns into $400 a month. 10 years of kicking it could cost you $50,000. Over the course of 20, 30, 40 years, that $50,000 could turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars just because you want to spend $100 a weekend kicking it. I know it sounds far-fetched, but that's how that thing adds up. It costs money, and it also costs time. Because the time that you're popping bottles in the club, guess what could be happening? You could be learning a new skill. You could be involved in doing something a little more productive for your ultimate outcome or for your wealth building in that time, right? Listen, if you want to kick it on the weekends and have some vacation time, look, you do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you not to do that. I'm just telling you, understand that what you're sacrificing when you spend your time kicking it, right? What are you sacrificing when you spend your time doing those things? You're sacrificing money and you're sacrificing your potential future by doing it. Now, look, if you say to yourself, look, I got to have my vacations 3 times a year or 2 times a year. I got to have my vacations for my mental health. Listen, there's a lot of ways to get some good mental health therapy, and a lot of them are free, right? You don't have to be spending a lot of money or spending a lot of time to get some good mental health therapy for yourself, right? Just think about that. Now, the 8th thing that you got to sacrifice is low expectations. Look, you got to give up this notion or this idea of being just average or of being just like everybody else. The goal in building wealth is to be different. It's to go somewhere with your personal finances that most people aren't willing to go and most people can't get to. That's the idea of building wealth. Everybody ain't building wealth. A lot of people across this planet are just trying to make it. And I'm saying you got to get rid of this notion that you're just out here to make it. You just out here to skate to get through, right? Or to get by. That's not you. If you want to build wealth, you got to think of yourself as being above average. You're not supposed to fall in the middle of the pack with everybody else. You need to see yourself as more. And let me just say this. I'm not saying that you need to see yourself as better than other people. That's not the point. But you have to see yourself as a person who deserves nothing less than the best. And that means giving up these low expectations, thinking, oh, well, you know, I could never be wealthy, or, you know, I could never have nothing to pass on to my kids, or look, I work this $10 an hour job and I can't have anything. I can't do it. I can't achieve at a high level. That's not right. Everybody that achieved anything great on this planet has always thought they could do it before they could do it. So what I'm saying is you got to think you can do it before you do it, right? Financial success starts with knowing you deserve better, knowing you deserve the best, and then demanding that from yourself, demanding the best out of you, demanding high expectations out of you. That's huge when you're talking about trying to build wealth, especially if you come from a place where you didn't have any money growing up. You didn't have anything growing up. You grew up sort of poor. When you come from that environment, you got to reshape the way you think about you. And that leads me to the 9th thing. The 9th thing is this. You got to sacrifice and give up the old you. You got to be willing to let you go. Who you used to be is not who you are moving forward financially. You know, the person that didn't do a budget, the person that never saved any money, the person that bought all the designer brand stuff, the name brand stuff, although you really didn't have the money, the person who was going on the trips over to Greece and Cabo and UAE, kicking it, right, Dubai, the person that was doing all that but really didn't have them, that's not you anymore. You changed, right? You're trying to get to another level in real life, not just on Facebook, not just on IG, but in real life, you're trying to get to another level. The person who was doing all that back then, that person got you to where you are right now with your money, right? And since that person got you to where you are with your money, it's time to be something different. Time to be somebody else. Time to flip this thing around and start growing to another level. And that means giving up the old you, right? Shredding your old financial habits, shredding your old financial mindset. The old you has to go. I just want to have this conversation to address that comment that I got on one of my videos where the person said, you know, we really want to have our vacations and, you know, we really want to build some wealth and leave something for our family and our generations behind us. But you know what? We really don't want to give up X, Y, Z. I'm saying If you want to go to another level with your personal finances and build some wealth and do something different, you're going to have to sacrifice something. The people who tell you you can have it all, no, you really can't. You can't have it all. You can have a lot, right? You can go out and get a lot, but you just can't have it all. You got to give up something to get to where you want to go, whether it's your career, relationship, financially, you name it, in life. Listen, if you got value from this video, let me know you got value just by typing in the description box, I got value. Smash the thumbs up button for me. Share this video with somebody who you think needs to hear the video. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you so much. Hey, if you want a 6-month plan to get this wealth building thing off the ground, you need to check out this video right here next. Peace.